very sad to me. But on the flip side of it, I do get it. Now that my books are published in an e-format, I do get it. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And my stuff is a little aggressive. It is a little rough. And I am finding it interesting that people are a little taken aback. I understand what happens between two men. I understand what gay sex is. I understand what sex between. And I think a lot of people have this image of that it's lace and candles, and I'm like,
violence.
It can be, sure, but I'm gonna break this off for you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going down. I had a scene where, and especially in this that just got released, it caused a little bit of a stir because I do have some hitting and some like forcing your head down on the ground to, like a little bit more rough, getting pushed up against walls, like a little bit of food play even involved, so, and people are like, whoa, that's, I'm like, this, I'm not Danielle Steele.
Where to buy your stuff.
Huh?
Chat room wants to know where to buy your stuff.
You can go to my publisher's website, which is silverpublishing.info.
So you do have hard copies?
I do. Actually, this was released both as a hard copy and an e-format, which I was really happy about.
Bring it up so we can see.
Yeah, I thought it was all e-books because you can't beat it with e-books. I mean, the amount of money you're making.
No, absolutely not. So, and I just got my books in the mail a couple days ago, and I was really excited.
Well, on the one hand, I'm perfectly fine with e-books in that, I understand. I think, like, environmentally speaking, I think it's a good idea to have electronic books available as opposed to going through the print process.
Right.
Especially considering how much it costs to bind even a pulp book.
Precisely.
As opposed to a PDF file.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I think it's good. And I also think it's good from the standpoint of the buyer, who now doesn't have to pay that extra cost of all the printing.
Right.
It's a little bit more cost effective that way. Still, it's sad, because I love books. I collect books, and I love holding a book.
Me too. And the environment. I think for the environment, I mean, professor, I recently took a nonfiction class just to kind of push me a little bit because I don't write nonfiction. He was like, you cannot imagine how many warehouses of books are sitting, and that makes me sad too. And for the planet, I guess that really we don't have a choice. It will eventually go that way. But I was in a library today. I'm a library. There's something, I'm sure you get it. I mean, there's something about the smell of books, being around them.
Yeah.
And when the electricity goes out and you can't recharge your Kindle at the end of the world, we'll still have books.
Yeah, you can still light a candle and sit there with your book.
Or your Hitachi magic wand.
Whatever.
You can't recharge that.
Yeah.
You'll have erotica.
That's right. You can't play music unless you have a big troll. or we do all that crap with car batteries.
Or we keep batteries.
Yeah, some smart assholes.
Keep some batteries in your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Just take me down right away. I don't want to go through any of that. Strike me dead. I don't want to be doing a Victrola, nothing. Just let me fall. Let me go through the earth first. That'll be it. Yeah, take me out.
So can you read some of your stories?
Yeah, I would love to.
Read the one with the guy's head down.
Well,
and the food thing.
I'm not seeing the problem.
Well, no, I'm not either. And the person who made the comment was like, oh, I couldn't even get past the first page, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, then you missed out, my friend.
But see, as women, we've given ourselves permission, and you're always talking about permission, As women, we've given ourselves permission to look at porn and deal with the rough stuff,
Yeah. But many people don't.
No.
And this was from a guy. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, it wasn't even a woman. It was a guy. I was like, that's intense, And I was like, God, but here's my thing. If I can elicit hate, I've done my job as a writer. If somebody says, I hated it, I'm like, wow. Because let me tell you, when I hate something, you've put some thought into it, and you've sat with that for a while. And I'm like, I disturbed somebody, and really, whether it's you're eliciting lust or hate or disgust or whatever, as a writer, that's what you've got to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
If they even remember later to tell you they hate it, it's still stuck with them.
Okay, because in this environment where we're constantly overstimulated, and there's a big, I don't know if you guys have felt this, I think there's a huge hypersexuality going on right now with everything, with the media. Like, sex is like,
oh yeah,
there. Do you know what I mean?
Like, that's the bleeding story that leads now. Yeah, over murders.
And it kind of you get oversaturated with it. I'm like, I think there was a new video. I think Rihanna's new video. everybody was blowing up about it, and I finally watched it, and I was like, could we all get past this? You know, could there be a video without a riding crop? That would turn me on.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, can
That
we
would
get
be
past?
unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Or why is this such a big deal?
Right.
Yeah.
Still.
This
You
is
know what I
really-
mean? Like,
yeah.
I think she's tied up like a little girl in it at some point. Everybody's all upset about it, and I said, can we get past it? I mean, I
actually remember Madonna, so
right, exactly,
Yeah.
right. Like,
Well, see, anything Rihanna does is dubious because Chris Brown. That's all I got to say. I don't want to see Rihanna tied up, hurt, or anything.
right,
We had, that was nasty. So
but she kind of took a turn.
we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. Read your
Okay,
stuff.
all right.
What
I
story
have to
is this?
find. This is called A Valentine for Evrain, and I called it this because I'm in the middle of reading The Mist of Babylon, which is like a 5,000 million word epic. And
I heard an "Oh God" back there for the Mist of Babylon.
And I became fascinated with Arthurian names, and I wanted my character to have an Arthurian name, and so I did some research and I came up with Evrain, and it kind of took off. I mean, it's weird. I kind of feel like I have this line of guys waiting outside my house, and every time I finish the story, somebody else comes and knocks, because I don't know where it comes from, but all of a sudden these stories are just there, and it's like they're just waiting to meet me, which is kind of weird. So I will read the part with the... Do you guys want the food? I think I'll do that. Because I'm a foodie a little bit. Alright, so, let's see. When Soledad left, Griff followed me back into the store with the berries. I brought them out back and turned the hose on them. It was getting cold. February was a weird month in California. I returned with a small bowl full of the fruit with a side of cream that I had whipped earlier in anticipation of the fruit's joyous arrival. Griff's eyes lit up. "You got a winner here, Evers," he said as he reached for a berry. I pulled the bowl just out of his reach. "Winning is the only option," I said jokingly, dipping a particularly large strawberry into the glossy cream. It smelled of vanilla and was stained with the red juice of the fruit. "Give it here," Griff motioned to himself, a smile playing across his parted lips. "Where?" I joked. I reached across the counter. "Here?" I rubbed the berry across his nose. He swiped at it, his smile fading. Griff hated teasing, especially by another man. "Here?" I brushed it against his cheek. He grabbed a napkin and wiped it roughly against his reddening face. "Fuck you." He stood to leave. "That old man was right. You're gonna need more than the cheap-ass 5 cartons you bought. Don't come crying to me when you need more." Knowing he was just about at his limit, I came from behind the counter. My pants were down. He liked to see a hard cock in underwear. Griff's guy fetish was one I was always happy to abuse. He acted as if he wasn't looking, but I knew he wouldn't be able to resist. "What the fuck are you doing?" He tried to move but couldn't. His need was strong, hungry, and I stroked it mercilessly. I pulled my shorts tight so he could see my balls. I dipped the strawberry in the cream again and offered it to him. "You like my new underwear?" "Shit, what are you doing to me?" I could see his heart-on under his pants, expensive navy things just snug enough to show off his hefty meat. I felt his mouth first, his hungry teeth and tongue slobbering over the strawberry, the cold cream melting down my fingers, my hands. He slurped at the creamy mess with the ferocity of a thirsty dog. His eyes scanned my body, stopping at the briefs, the stiff excitement of my cock and the thick hairy muscles of my thighs. "Get on your knees, pig." My voice was sharp, harsh. Griff fell to his knees and followed me, crawling as I carelessly cast a path of cream behind me. "Lick it up, you piggy rich boy." He made a grunting sound of assent and lapped up the sticky path that led to the back kitchen.
Well, that's fantastic. That's wonderful.
Cookie, can I ask you something that I think we had discussed last week? Pig. You said you learned a new term, and I kind of
Oh, I
had to
just
think
got
about
chills
it.
when you said that.
I realized, like, you're right, that is kind of a new term.
Like I had said, I feel like I learned to be gay all over again recently. Right now I work at in an environment that we sell a lot of sex toys and clothing and fetish wear and really hardcore stuff, but beautiful. Really upscale. It's not like a disgusting, dirty type of environment. It's very upscale and beautiful. And I have become aware of all these different scenes that I had no idea about. I didn't know what a pig was, and I actually had a pet pig. So I have a love for the animals, but I didn't know that there were men who identified themselves as pigs. I became very aware of that, and
Yeah?
Sorry, I have to interrupt with 2 chat room comments.
Yes.
One from a friend of mine said, that was stimulating and I'm not even gay. And odd boy out, your friend from the archive says, does he use Santorum in his works?
that may be my next character's name.
I was like, yeah, use that.
I may.
It's out there.
I actually
What is
learned
that?
I knew what felching was, but I didn't know, I'd never met anybody who had done it until recently, and so that was something I learned too.
Say.
So yeah, so the pig scene, the hanky code came kind of back, roaring
Yeah.
back, and so,
Hanky code's big.
and I love bandanas, and I wear them just because I love them, and now I have to be really aware.
Careful.
What?
Be careful.
But I did wear one that had to do with food, which was funny. I wore a lime green one, and I got to work and I didn't realize it, and I quickly looked through the list. I was like, shit, what the fuck does this mean? And it said food play. I'm like, all right, I'm okay with
That's
that.
alright. That's alright.
Right.
Okay.
So,
We're good.
yeah.
Be careful of the yellow ones if that's not what you're into.
Yes, the yellow and the red.
Yeah, yeah.
The red man. So, yeah.
Red is
And,
fisting.
yes.
Yellow is piss.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Fisting is something else that I've become
It's all
very
okay.
aware of.
Just don't wear them if you don't mean it.
Or just, or be okay that you're wearing it and you're...
And be okay
right.
with wearing it and understand what you may be asked.
Or if somebody tries to fist you accidentally.
What does an American flag one mean? I like to wear American flag ones as a joke, with the whole hanky code. What do you think that would mean?
And what color? It means you're queer.
And there's a houndstooth. I didn't even know that houndstooth had a meaning. There was
Wow.
velvet, I think, means something. And
Great. Yeah, I would.
no.
Yeah.
Anything that gets that complicated, I kind of...
Yeah,
too much
we're
work.
getting a little too many.
Yeah.
Do I have to? Because in a bar, if you're gonna look at your little card and try to read.
No.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. Yeah.
No. But I do...
I guess you learn like the 3 that are really important to you, and then you just look for those colors.
yeah.
Rin
Yes.
says, houndstooth, does that mean you're fashion challenged?
Possibly. I'll have to check my notes.
So you said that fisting is something new. Is that just in the community of people you're hanging out with? You're picking this up? Like,
Well, I've always known what fist... Well, I shouldn't say that. When I was 16, I thought fisting meant like a hand job, because it was like a fist. But I soon realized when a guy asked me to do that what it was, and I said, excuse me?
It's a little different.
So,
that's not what it is.
No.
And you can't watch Caligula and learn either. So.
No. So I have become more aware of that, and just there's a lot more going on in the gay scene than I ever knew, and it's fascinating. It's a fascinating dynamic, and all these groups and clubs and organizations, and I think it's fantastic. I absolutely think it's fantastic, and what I do love, I have to be honest with you, I've never been called conservative until I started working where I am now, and I am considered a conservative gay all of a sudden. I don't even know what that means, but I am supposedly
Do you
conservative.
vote Republican?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because some do.
Oh, no, I
They're-
don't. But I do, I'm the one that when somebody comes in, a vanilla couple comes in and they're like, I want to buy my first vibrator. I'm like, yes! It brings out the artist in me.
It's
That's
good.
when I love that.
What I want to do, because we only have a few more minutes left on this tape, and we still have a bunch of people in the chat room and such, and it seems like we're still on a roll and we're still going. So I want to let everybody in the live audience know we're going to go dark for a couple of seconds so that we can change tapes, and then we're going to come right back up. So don't leave, stick around, and we're going to do this. Give us a few seconds to change tapes.
Okay, we're on commercial.
Quick pee break.
Okay, so can I ask you about